Confidence levels grew in Wicklow. They had a big, strong team with at least two good forwards in Kevin O'Brien and Conan Day. With former Dublin footballer Dave Foran in charge, Wicklow had all the ingredients to produce a shock. Dave Foran said it was time to stand up and be counted, while a royal upset was not being discounted by the Garden County. The Meath Chronicle declared their boys were ready to reach the final, while also noticing that a man called Colm O'Rourke just seems to go on and on. The Weekender were just as confident that the Royals would be in the Leinster final, while also expressing that the Meath full backline would be tested. The venue for this Bank of Ireland Leinster clash was O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. Wicklow were hoping for a good start, but their prayers went unanswered as the Royal County struck early.
So Meath against the wind making the much better start. McDermott avoiding the block, deep inside towards Evan Kelly. Players peeling away right and left. Trevor Giles, Tommy Dowd in the overlap, a goal chance here, and he rolls it in so confidently. That's the dream start for Meath. The overlap here involving Brendan Riley, just back from a 2-week suspension. Into the goal scorer. Dowd having a quick look around, going for the chance himself. Might have gone for the point, could end anywhere. O'Rourke, and that's in the net. Brian Stocker, the one who finishes it inside. John McDermott silencing those who would say that Wicklow might be coming back. It's to Colm O'Rourke. Here's a glorious chance. Buried. Three goals in 3 games for the great master. Here's a chance. Conan Day coming in off the post. And for once they were really out of luck. Conan Day, 6 points to his credit so far, struck the crossbar. Fergus Daly the taker. Here's Kevin O'Brien. Nicely forward here. He deserves a goal, Conan Day, but doesn't get it. Comes back out to Ronan Coffey, battled inside there, and it's won back by John McDermott, who's played all over the park. This was a point-blank save as Conan Day was coming in, hit it really well, and the goalkeeper showed his athleticism.
Meath in the final, and I'm sure they'll be anxiously watching Dublin and Laois at Navan on Sunday next to view the final opponents. Colm O'Rourke, you got the Man of the Match award. Great feeling, I'm sure.
Well, it's about time, I suppose, anyway. I've been trying to rig it here for long enough, and at last it's come true.
I've heard it said that it was the best display seen from Meath for maybe 6 or 7 years.
Certainly the first 15 minutes was as good a football as I can ever remember playing along with a Meath team in the championship, but after that it was very scrappy and messy affair, and we didn't play well. I suppose people would say that the game was over after that first quarter, but we didn't play well for the rest of the game.
Anthony, have you seen much of Meath this year?
Well, I saw the game yesterday and I was very impressed with Meath. As Colm says, I think the game really was over, you know, after 5 minutes, and it's very hard when you build up a lead like that to continue playing the type of football that Meath played in the opening 15 minutes. And Wicklow, in fairness, did come back at them and had a couple of opportunities for goals, and perhaps there'd be a cloud of suspicion over the Meath's third goal. I think that Colm maybe took a few steps too many.
Yeah, well, Colm usually takes very short steps, and they're divided by 2. Perhaps it would be interesting to hear the views of Dave Foran, the Wicklow manager, after the game.
Certainly was, yeah. We got off to the start that we actually didn't want. I've been concentrating all along that Wicklow have been slow, or Meath have been starting very slow, and we will capitalise on that. And the total reverse happens, and the game was basically over after 10 minutes.
Was there anything you could say to the team during the first half or at half-time to help?
Well, no, really at half-time it was a bit of pride in the jersey and going out and trying to get back some of the scores that we lost. But 11 points down after I think it was 11 minutes, we were always chasing the game and hoping that we might win by a point or 2 or 3. I think it was just over.
How far will this set football back in Wicklow?
I don't think it'll set us that far back. Like, we did a very good win over Westmeath and things were going very well. I think it just shows the guys the standards between the top teams and the Division 4 teams. And as I said to the guys after the match, as long as we learn from this, there's no point in going away saying, well, wait till another year. You know, we've got to learn from it and work on it and hopefully come back all the better next year.
Do you still have an appetite for management?
I certainly have, yeah. I'm very disappointed actually, but I think I was probably more disappointed with 10 minutes gone into the game, knowing that it was all over. So the disappointment, like, you know, is really for the players, knowing all the work they put in, and you know, I would like to see fellas like Pat O'Byrne not playing in the Leinster final, but they'll have to just go and try and work on it again.
How good do you reckon this Meath team are?
Again, it will be very hard to judge them on that, but I've been saying to people there that on their first 15 minutes display, they were probably the best team that I have seen this year. All around the field, their pace off the ball is phenomenal. Their height, their strength, they've got everything going for them. But again, it will be very, very hard to judge in this game. They will certainly get a lot tougher in the Leinster final.
Are they better than Dublin?
Again, judging on the two teams, I would say at this stage, yes. I would think that they're a bit more, they've more scoring forwards than Dublin have. But again, it's very hard to judge them on the 15 or 20 minutes. They really exploded today.
Wicklow manager Dave Forden, they're stating that Meath a better team than Dublin, and that's coming from a former Dublin player. Colm O'Rourke, it would appear that there's a big gap between, we'll say, the leading 7 or 8 teams and all the others.
Yeah, and I suppose in Leinster particularly, the gap is most pronounced, I think, of any province. Like Meath and Dublin have dominated now since 1982, when Offaly won their last Leinster title. And the gap between the top 2 or 3 in Leinster and the rest, I think, is getting wider every year. This year's championship, I think, has been one of the worst in Leinster for quite a while. A lot of teams have got very bad beatings, and I don't think it's doing anything for football in a lot of those counties.
Well, it was hard enough on Wicklow to have to face Meath, but to have to face them for part of the game with 14 men was a difficult task indeed. And when Tony O'Donoghue spoke today, Forden, he did mention that sending off.
Well, actually, I know all managers say this, but I really didn't see it, and it was right in front of me. But I asked Dave when he came off, like, what happened, and he said he caught the Meath lad off the ball. He said, and then he said he deserved to be sent off. So he had no qualms with it at all.
Breathtaking honesty.
Yeah, well, Dave was an honest fella, and I would say again, I'd have to go with what he said, because I certainly didn't see it. But we certainly didn't need that, you know, sending off 14 men the last 10 minutes. But if he struck him and he was seen with the ref, well, he had to go.
David Whelan, an honest man indeed, and why shouldn't he be deemed an honest man? Didn't he win a minor All-Ireland medal with Dublin back in centenary year 1984? Ag bhainte seo níl déanamh gumsach mo bhuachas a gháil de lochtan fanéil, Colm O'Rourke gur heb na lár Clay, the lár Wheel Anthony Tohill, in Acalish Pats Belan, agus Mochada Marty Morris.
Carmina Margaret, Mihal, and certainly next weekend it could be very historic.